We're gonna have a long road getting out of Xinjiang.
So today we're leaving Urumqi, Xinjiang to travel all across China, thousands of kilometers, multiple flights, trains, and even boats to get to the final destination by the end of today's video.
I'm in Urumqi, Xinjiang. One of, let's say, the places that not too many people know about, and we will talk about. It's supposed to be very different than the rest of China. It has a very unique history, and it does in many ways. So this state has a very large population of the Uyghur people. They're culturally very similar, very close to the Uzbeks. This city, it has changed a lot in the last couple of decades. I would say just the last 20 years. And now it's a huge city of 4 million people. Now I'm walking through what I would call, hello, we're looking at me right into the man. What I'm walking through right now is what I would call the Manhattan of Urumqi. Very busy skyscrapers, business districts, still a lot of street vendors operating. Everybody has like a megaphone yelling something. But for me, it's gonna be time to leave. Honestly, I've spent in Central Asia a bit more time than I expected, maybe even than I wanted, because I was not ready for it. Like, bought this hoodie. This is the warmest that I have, and I'm freezing. It's like -5 right now. The sun is going down. My hands, I barely feel them. But it was truly very interesting. So the one thing you're gonna see that is a bit different in Xinjiang, like the whole, let's say, police presence is very high. Depending on the neighborhood, if it's very busy, there's basically a car. There's 2 guys on top with guns. They look serious. They're like, I wouldn't mess around here. But other than that, it was actually pretty chill. I walked all around town, different neighborhoods, and it was very interesting. Maybe one of the most interests that I had, maybe back in the day when I traveled for the first time, I came to Hong Kong. Back then, there was even less of what I knew what to expect. But this time around, I was like, yo, Xinjiang, I mean, population of millions of people, 4 million, a little bit more than that. How is it gonna be? And it truly was. Let's see. And it truly was a unique city. I'm just walking by when I get those guys in the back in their car. Ooh, cool neighborhood. But before I'm gonna completely freeze my ass off, it's gonna be time to get warm. And we're still gonna be doing that in China. By the end of this video, I'm not sure, maybe I'm already gonna put it in the title, but by the end of this video, you're gonna see where I'm gonna arrive. In some ways, very different, but honestly, in some ways also quite similar. Okay, guys, we're gonna have a long road getting out of Xinjiang. Join me. Taxi, yeah. Yeah. Yes. So we made it to Urumqi airport on a hazy, cold evening. Looks like those are car rentals. They're having pink Jeep looking cars. I don't know if it is a Jeep, but yeah, I hope I'm at the right terminal. I'm actually very good on time now. With the airport, not the newest, but fairly large, at least the entrance area. But everything is in Chinese, every single thing. So yeah, not like a Shanghai, definitely. But I asked a guy, he told me 2627 is check-in for Shanghai, so it should be good. For, what is it? China Eastern Airlines. Okay guys, so after my trip to Xinjiang, I think I'm gonna splurge a little bit. Made it through security. Oh, what an adventure that was once again. So honestly, I said it before, like mostly it's pretty chill. It's pretty much how the rest of China. This airport's a little bit older, still nice. Like, it's fine, gets the job done, let's say it like that. I mean, enough seating, that's why what I would say is nice to have. Free water, even beautiful. But seriously, the security checking everything is crazy. So basically, they touch you down from like all sides. Let's see how many yuan's gonna get it started any moment. I hope this seat's not gonna kick me out, because in the mall it was kicking me out. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I mean, for safety purposes, there's no way I could have carried anything in there. Basically, for like 3-4 minutes from all sides, under clothing as well. So I have a couple of layers, so all the layers were checked. That's the first. And then also my electronics bag, every single piece of electronic I had to put out, take the batteries out, everything. So I've never been that tightly security checked. And I mean, I guess they just want to make sure to avoid anything that could be happening at an airport. If you watch action movies, you know. I have no idea if there was any incidents in the airports, no idea. But with that type of security, it's a good thing. But you know, like, I'm carrying tons of electronics with me, and I'm like, I've had some issues in like Indian airports or some things, but no issues. He looked through all of that with Google Translate, and I was free to go. Slightly anxious, but overall, like the whole Xinjiang trip, I would say you feel that the security level is very high, but other than that, there's not many differences. So we are at gate 12 and we're flying right now to Xi'an. There we're gonna have a layover, and from there we're flying to Shenzhen. It's gonna be like a 5-6 hour layover, I think. Decent time. Like anything over 6 hours, I feel like it's a bit draining. Direct flights were going, but not in the evening, and I want to make sure to arrive there early next morning, and I wanted to have the full day in Urumqi today, so that was kind of like the only option I saw for today. And China Eastern Airlines, I think I flew with them once. So what else I want to say? Oh, I'm happy to get to Shenzhen, definitely. Like, as much as Urumqi was fun, I think it's like a fun to explore. But of course, compared to other Chinese cities, there's just so many more that are just much more chill. Like Shanghai was actually really chill, even though busy. Such a huge city, you would expect more regulation, securities, regular stuff. But here, yeah, it's a little bit. It's also the cold weather, honestly, that makes everything a little bit. Boarding in an hour. What it has been. A trip pretty much all throughout China. I gotta tell you, I was so fried. I was thinking to maybe document the different airports, but honestly, the Shenzhen one, that's a beast. I've only seen the arrival area, really. Like, nothing fancy, just top infrastructure, design, everything. No rabbits out of the hat. And Shenzhen is a city that I'm soon gonna be back. But for now, we're traveling for love. Going to Hong Kong, and seriously, I had one layover in Xi'an, I think that's what it was called, and then I thought I had one layover, but then the next plane that I had stopped somewhere, and we did another layover, and then the plane was delayed. Oh God, can't complain. Life is good. Got a green Ultra Paradise Monster. Got a couple of Chinese products on deck because in Hong Kong they're a bit different. And in Hong Kong only for 2 days, because I have a little master plan that I'll share with you a bit later. How to get the most of China, also not going solo this time around. But first we need to get to the railway station. Fastest way to get to Hong Kong.
You want to go Hong Kong?
Yeah.
On my right.
So to give you some context, I flew all across China, multiple layovers, some were even a bit unexpected, but as of now, I'm getting on a train to go to Hong Kong to pick up Liza, and yes, to then together go back to the mainland. So we just spent in Hong Kong a couple of days, but just a good few months ago, I've been to Hong Kong properly. I filmed a full 1-hour video about it. So if you're interested, here's a little preview, but make sure to stick around because as stressful as the past few days have been, we're gonna be making it back to one of the most impressive cities I've ever been to.
After a brief, I would say, stint in Hong Kong, it was rainy, it was a bit cloudy, it was stressful. Wow, I think this China series so far is just one big, one stressful. So Liza is joining the China chat. We just ran to the ferry like crazy. It was pretty easy to get on. So basically, went to Hong Kong to pick up Liza. She can only get a transit visa, so we need to enter China first point. And there was only like flights with layovers to get to Guangdong. This is where we're headed right now. So I'm gonna be doing the transit visa, and hopefully, certainly, it will be 6 days in Guangdong. This is where we're swimming right now. So Hong Kong is one of the few cities that has a ferry into the mainland, which also offers you the transit visa. So most people swim actually, or what is it, sail, I guess, to Macau from here. Very few were going to China right there, and the lady took the longest time ever, the grandma at the counter, to process the tickets, okay? And Liza's already like, oh, this lady, like, we're no way we're gonna get in it. We have like 3 minutes, and usually the docking is not that close. We're running to check in, and the grandma is passing us on the side and running even quicker. I'm like, she was probably with the Olympic team back in the day. So she told them to wait for us, because we got on the boat, I think, slightly after 9 a.m. Right? And yeah, here we are, next stop. Welcome to China. Whew. The China adventure continues, I would say. You're excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah. You know, when it's a little bit complicated to get something, you always appreciate it a little bit more, naturally. So every time I've entered China so far, it has been the smoothest process. I was so surprised that I entered Xinjiang within a minute. Like, security there is definitely tighter, but the immigration was very chill and easy. And I didn't even think about all the different stamps that I've collected over the last couple of weeks and months. I went to some adventurous places. But here, I did not go to the immigration counter right away. We got a transit visa. And you know, transit visa is much more bureaucratic, because they want to make sure that you don't go out of the state that you have the transit visa for. So depending on the different transit visa, you can move around either within like 1 or 2 cities, or within the state, depending where you are. So in Guangdong, you can go all over Guangdong. I think it's one of the biggest states you can get a transit visa in. You cannot go out. And if we would, no, that's the immigration's job, basically, to make sure to ask what we're doing. So he asked me everything. I think I've been questioned quite a couple of times at some airports in the last years, but that was the longest one, but it was pretty nice. Like, he basically wanted to see the photos from all my recent Central Asia travel, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, He loved the melon photo that I had. That's when we knew we're good. We're good. So yeah, if you go for transit visa, make sure you have all your documentation. Most European countries have 15 days right now, but I think it's ending this year actually. Maybe they will extend it, who knows. But yeah, what is it? Entering China the 3rd time this year, the 2nd time this week. Mainland, you know. Little stint in Hong Kong, so I had to go for immigration. A bit annoying, but it is what it is. And this is not an airport. It's also not the water park. It is the port. The Shekou port, super fancy. And I was telling Liza all the time, this is actually something I want to share with you. Like, I love Hong Kong in many ways. I think it's a super historical city. It has so much uniqueness to it and nuance. But when I was in Hong Kong first, I've never been to mainland China. And then I went to Shanghai. Then, as you have seen in the last videos, I was in Xinjiang. And even Urumqi felt almost very different from Shanghai, but more similar in terms of the infrastructure, the metro, everything, than Hong Kong. I was in Hong Kong and I was like, wow, This is so different. It's very much older. The vibe is different, the smell is different, the food is different, the products in the supermarkets are different. They kind of suck, to be honest with you. They export from Korea, from Japan, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, I go to Korea if I want Korean products. I want to have the good Chinese 7 yuan energy drinks and not the monster for $3. Seriously, Hong Kong prices are different. They're different. They're like double pretty much for everything. So happy to be back after 2 days. Gonna head to the hotel right now. And yeah, excited to show this one around here.
Yeah. First time in China mainland.
They have a DJI store. You know why I love this place? Yeah, here in the mall. Yeah. Why are we going up? I'm looking for like a shop, a grocery shop, but I don't think they have that here upstairs. And actually, that is going to be the next video, because Shenzhen and Guangdong in general, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, it's basically like the factory of the world. Like, some of the biggest brands are here, be it DJI, be it all kinds of electronics, even like international producer. The biggest brands are to some extent either producing here or having some kind of development. So that is why a lot of businesses in Shenzhen, but also the city. I've never properly seen it. I've only once kind of like transited through it a long time ago. So let's see. Looks like we're going to the DJI store. It is what it is. It is what it is.
No, we're going to Starbucks.
The pride of Shenzhen, not Starbucks.
Starbucks.
No, we were gonna go to the local chains. Luckin Coffee.
Okay, Luckin Coffee.
All right, wanna go? All right, Liza has an electronic store phobia. I have an addiction of going to DJI. She's going to Luckin Coffee. Woo! All right, I need to get myself. The hell is that? Oh my god, I'm in heaven. Heaven. There's a no photo sign. Why? Wow, guys, where the hell am I? I'm in like drone heaven. I don't know why there's a no photo sign. Is that the development of the drones here? Seriously, look at that. For real, it's a DJI museum. Oh my god. Phantom 1, Phantom 2, Phantom 3, Phantom 4. These days the Mini Pro has better quality. My first drone I have ever owned, the DJI Spark. Oh my god, that brings back so many memories. It was wild. It sucks, it's not very good. Then I had the Mini, I also had the Mavic Air, I had the Mini, I had the Mavic, the first one. And of course, for quick travels, I also have the Mattress 200. No, I'm kidding. I do not have the Mattress 200. It's too small. I go with the Flycar 30. So delivery drones. Wow. This is crazy. It's like a DJI museum. Doesn't disappoint, huh? So, oh, funny. Osmo Action, but they don't have. I have actually the new one, the new stabilizer of that. You know. Wow, wow, wow. So here you see the beautiful scenery outside, a little bit cloudy, a little bit moody. Oh yeah, looks like this is like the retail shop here. Nice, nice, nice. Hello. Look at that, the new Action 5. I should pick that up. Do they produce it in Shenzhen or developing it? Factory also in Shenzhen?
Research and development factory also in Shenzhen.
Very nice, very nice. All right, I might pick it up in the next few days. My guy. So it was worth going in there. My brother from another mother just told me that you can fly in Shenzhen, no problem. Share with you right now. I've already just noticed I'm starting to take it for granted. 2 days in Hong Kong, and here it's like 23, I would guess right now, and I'm like warm. And just a couple of days ago I was in like -3, 4. I've been in there for 2 weeks almost, and honestly, cold can be cool. It was cool. It was snowing in Kazakhstan. There was snow. in Xinjiang, but I don't know, not my season necessarily. Especially I don't like to carry that heavy clothing with me, so back and warm and only getting warmer from here. Gonna be Thailand after, but first one good week, really 7 days, because the transit visa starts from the next day. 6.5, 7 days in China. So where's the metro? China Merchants Property Operation. Oh, what? Made it into the city center. I gotta tell you guys, I've seen quite a bit in my time, but this might be the newest, most futuristic city I've ever seen. Like I mentioned, I've only passed through Shenzhen once. I've been in the city for like an hour during evening hours 6 years ago. So first of all, I had no idea what to look out for. And I don't think I've seen that, because I just looked it up. Shenzhen is one of the youngest cities in China. They pretty much developed all of that in the last 20 years. And look at this skyline. Usually, and it's not like concentrated, it's not on one side, it's like everywhere, all around us. Let's make sure we go to the right place. So we got off like a station before to go for a little walk in the city center, get a bit of a vibe, check into the hotel. Check in.
Okay. I'm checking it on the 6th floor.
Okay, let me get my passport out. Okay. You guys, it's been a couple of stressful weeks, but now it's nice. Checked in. First time staying at the Four Seasons. Very excited. Got a terrace, got a room, got a gym, got a pool. Took the morning ferry. Had to wake up at like 7, went to sleep at 3 last night. Hong Kong busyness, but feels almost extra nice when you're a little bit, wow, like I'll tell you a bit more in a second. Shenzhen, I would say, is quite special in terms of 5-star hotels for one big reason. Oh, we made it into the room. Wow, guys, it's absolutely beautiful. You see so much of the city. The evening is probably going to be even crazier. So I think next video is going to be a proper full Shenzhen video. I want to give you a tour of the city. It truly looks like, you know, newly built. You still even see some construction, not much going on. We're right in the city center here. Four Seasons, a hotel I always wanted to stay. Like, they're really known for just like, it's all about details. Very excited to explore it. And a very interesting thing that I realized in China in general, maybe outside of like the big cities like Shanghai, when you look at like super futuristic cities and you look at the fancy hotels that you have all over the world, China happens to be one of the more affordable ones. Obviously still, you know, 5-star, crazy pricing, but this hotel anywhere else would be costing 3-4 times more. Here I think rooms start around 250, 300 a night. And yeah, I mean, like more standard hotels, like still 4 or 5 stars you can get for like 70, 80 bucks is what I was looking at. But then I thought, yo, Four Seasons looks like something I want to do. And the other thing is we walked into DJI, so I think I will pick up some DJI stuff here as well, symbolically right at the source. I'm an environmentalist, so they don't have to ship it. Wow.
They have lilies. Lilies.
Lilies?
Yeah, they are real, not fake. Wow.
They're real. So cute.
Crazy, we've got macaroons with panda. With panda. Little panda, look at this.
Wow.
Welcome to Shenzhen.
Cool, look at the gates. Oh. Back. Wow, this is also eatable. I think chocolate.
Yes,
Nice.
it's chocolate.
You are destroying the Chinese wall.
So tasty.
White chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. When there's a wooden cart, you know it's way too fancy. And so guys, back on the streets here of Shenzhen, and you already got the first vibe. Look at these monsters of buildings. So over the next week I want to take you through Guangdong province and discover it a bit more, because from what I hear it's a little bit different, or a lot different to the rest of China, because here even the language that they speak, I don't know if regular Mandarin speakers understand it. It's Cantonese. I'm sure a little bit, that would be my guess. In terms of culture, it's hard to say. We're in a very modern city. Of course, certain foods like dim sum. We'll find out. Is it more of a Hong Kong thing, or can we get it here as well? The hotel is absolutely beautiful. For the first time I'm actually seeing it more outside. I'm going to show you more of that in the main Shenzhen video, which I'm pretty much going to start shooting right now. And just to wrap it up, for me, I have a bit of a brain warp, because I've been to, like, always sounds like a flex a little bit, but I've been on the most intense travel schedule really in years. Usually I always say a world of seas, about building a life of freedom around the world, about living rather than just traveling. But recently I got a bit of an adventure bug. Like, some destinations kind of intrigued me. Geographically, I was in places that gave me stamps that now stop me at all kinds of airports. If it's going to continue like that, I might have to get a new passport. So basically, most recently I was in Afghanistan, I was all over Central Asia. Then I noticed China is across the border, and I've heard it's not that easy to get into that particular state I was in Xinjiang. In some ways very similar to the rest of China, in other ways also very different. Those videos, yeah, if you're watching this, are out by now. And this is what I mean by brain warp. Basically, by now I'm like, I've been to Xinjiang really 3 days ago. It's wild. It was -5 while I was walking around. Now it's a nice 20. Just got a little jacket, feeling warm and cozy. And I'm slowly making my way down to more warmer places. After China, gonna stop over in Thailand a little bit. This is my base often. I like to come back to. But for now, I'm extremely excited. Like, for me, a very, let's say, modern and futuristic city personally is very impressive. Some people say, like, oh, it's all boring, it's all man-made, and I'm like, exactly. Like, don't we admire, like, let's say, any type of ingenuity, art that people make? We do. But when it comes to city skylines, some of them are pretty ugly, I'm not gonna lie. But here, many of the buildings, generally the city structure, it's obviously built in a recent years, so it's very up to date. Like, here we're looking at, my guess would be the tallest tower in Shenzhen. I haven't looked that up yet. And for me, it's fascinating, especially to see that this city just sprung out of nowhere in the last pretty much 20 years. It's one of the youngest cities. I guess the population, just like out of the top of my head, for like maybe 8 million, 10 million people, which is obviously a lot. It's 17 million people that are living here, and there's so much innovation happening here, and it's quite crazy. Like, you can think about China whatever you like, but you have to ask yourself the question. Like, I have mixed feelings. Like, some things I love about China, other things I'm like, I don't know if I would want to live in this particular city. Maybe I like some more than others, and there's so much different cities also at the same time. First, traveling to China was also very complicated. You don't know how to get around, your visa is not working, they have different payment systems. Then you figure it out, and you think also, like, hey, is it gonna be like chill, or is it gonna be complicated? And honestly, like, traveling through China is really, once you get the swing out of it, it's very seamless actually. And being in such a big city, I'm basically, I don't know, I think I'm gonna pop into a DJI store, pick up a new camera or a new drone, just for a symbolic meaning a little bit. Just because this was actually the one and only place I've ever been to in China, and I've only been really at, like, the market. I crossed the border from Hong Kong in 2018, and I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen none of that. I couldn't even figure out the metro back then. I was only here for like 2 days. I was hanging out close to the Hong Kong border. And so, yeah, the basic gist of the story is it was a crazy adventure over the last couple of days. Xinjiang was fascinating, it was interesting. In some ways it was much bigger than I thought, especially like the big square there. Obviously very unique to travel to. I don't know what I would be doing there if I would be there for a week or two, whereas for a week or two or even a month in Guangdong, I think there would be a lot to do and a lot to see. And that's what you're gonna see in the next video. So if you want to connect with me more, keep in touch, see where I am right now, join me on Instagram. Well, and with that, you too, out of world.